Okay, guys, welcome to in another video. Today we are going to learn about the C++ vectors and its operation, like how we can implement different operation which are essential for the competitive programming and also other implementation also. And vectors are better than the array, so for this reason we use the vectors. So let's go to the next slide. So our first question is that what is the vector in C++? So basically, just like arrays, vectors are dynamically allocated arrays to store the elements. If we represent something like this, let's take it as a array. So now it has the fixed size of 3, but in case of the vectors, it can be dynamically allocated. So if we had 3 elements and also if we want to add another element 4, then we can do it, because it can increase its size automatically or allocate the memory as per user's choice. So for this reason we can use the vector. So now the vector data, like the structure to declare a vector container in C++ is like this, like vector. After that we have the data type in float, and after that the name of the container and the size. So if we want to do some more thing, let's see it in practically. So I use code blocks so you can get a better approach. So first we will do a vector initializer or declaration. So for this reason, first you need to call vector, and after that the data type I take a int and I declare it as a. So like this declaration has no fixed length, it can increase as per user input, but in case if you want to allocate it statically, like only 5 or 6, so you just need to enter the number in a bracket n. So this will fixed like or create a vector of size 5. So that's the basic vector initializer or the declaration. Now if we go to the presentation, then go to the next slide and we can check out about it more. So I give a picture, and I take this picture from the journaldev.com, and they have a very good article about C++. So they also have this declaration phase where you declare it. So after declaration we push back, it is a method to push a vector push a element at the end of the vector. Now we push 1, so 1 is inserted. After that we push back 2, so 2 will add after the 1, and now it has only 2 elements. So if you want to resize the element, so you can do it. Just you need to pass some number in the resize method. So if you do it that, so other 2 empty spaces will be created. And also it has a pop back method which can empty the remove a element from the last and make the space empty. So now you can see that this is dynamically allocated. If you check that, now it has the initial size of 2, but after resizing it will gain the size of 4. So you can see that it is dynamically allocated. So that is the next thing. Now we can go to the next slide. So we will check some the iterator methods. So iterator basically a object or iterator or something that's a pointer. You can call it a pointer that point to the vectors some position like end or beginning. So the vector has the begin, which is returned and iterated to the beginning, and after that we have the end, that's returned and iterated to the end. So if I take an vector of as 3, so now if we call let's say it a, now if we call like a dot begin, now it will return a pointer or the iterator to pointing the first element like this. This will be the iterator. You can store it in this in a variable and store it this here and loop through the vector, and if we call this end, then the pointer's place will be changed and it will be point to the last element of the vector. So that's the basic thing about the begin and end. Now we have another two method for use. It's called the rbegin and rbegin are reverse beginning. So it will returns a reverse iterator to the reverse beginning or the at the end, and basically rbegin return the pointer it should equal to the end, and after that we have the rend returns a reverse iterator to the reverse end. So the concept behind this is that if we have array of 5, so rbegin will return a pointer to the last element, and the rend will return the pointer to the first element of the array. And basically this is the same thing that if we reverse the array 5, 3 and 1, now you can make sense that because now it is similar to this thing. You can see that now it can like first element it will send the iterator to the reversed array first element, and rend will point to the last element of the reverse array, and that's the basic understanding of the iterator methods. Now let's take a look at the code. So now we'll declare the vector, and now I will add some elements. So for this I will use the pushback method. I push let's say first 0, now push 1, now I will push 3. So now I will call the now I will loop to print all the elements of the vector. So for this reason I will use the iterators. So first I will take a iterator. So auto basically a keyword in C++ which can automatically differentiate the data type of the declared variable which is stored in the variable. So now I will call the a dot begin. Now it will return a pointer which is pointed to the first element of the vector. Now I will use the for loop and auto I equal to it and I not equal to a dot end. Now I will print the element. It will end the line. Now if we build it, I will use a code for this. And this is the main article from where I take the. So basically you can see that. So now I will go to the code editor and if I build it, let's see the output of this. Now you can see that it's print all the element of the vector. So you can do it like this, or you can declare it here. So now I save it and again run it. One and 3, and you can see that for these are the task of the iterator, and if we call the reverse iterator, it will print the elements reversely. A dot end. See out the now I will build it again. And you can see that it will print it reversely 3 1, and these zeros are just for like, because I declared the array of 5, so the void space is fill up with the 0. Now let's go to the slide, and after that we have the capacity methods. Capacity methods are like the for getting the size of the vector, or you can call it dynamic array. So like if we have an array of like 1 and 2, so this size method returns the size of this array 2. So that's the basic thing. So after that we have the max size. Max size is just the maximum size that can be allocated for a vector. And after that we have the resize. So if we fill the whole array and we need to resize the array again, so then we can call the resize method to resize a vector. So if we declared a array of size 2 and the array will filled with elements of 0 0, now it is totally filled and we need to add some extra elements in it, then we can call this resize and then the resize it to the 4, then we can add some more elements in it. That's the basic thing about the these methods. Now next we have the capacity. Capacity is the return the total allocated memory capacity of the vector, like how much memory can eaten by the vector, and that's the basic thing about the vector capacity methods. And after that, if we do some coding, let's print the size of the, so if I see out the size of the vector is a dot size, and it will print the size, and I comment out this because we don't need them for now. Now I save it and build it. So you can see that the size of the vector is 8. It's returned the size of the vector. And after that we can go like here as an boolean method which is empty, like if a dot empty, it checks a vector is empty or not. If the vector is empty, then this empty method returns true, and else, like if the vectors contain at least one element, then it returns false. And that's the task of the empty method. Now we will discuss about the elements access methods. Element access methods are the thing that how we can access the elements. So we can use the traditional array operator like this third bracket, and these are the same as arrays, like using index. So let's take example 1 and 2. So it has the push index of 0 and 1. We can access them using this this operator, and after that we have the at index. It's a method of the, and similar to the previous thing, just you need to call the method. Like we have the so a dot at 0, 1 and 2. So now it will return the 1. That's the basic funda of this method. After that we have the front. It will access the first element of the vector, like the 0th element, and after that we have the back. It will access the last element, like this 2. So that's the basic array methods for the. Let's take a look how we can do this. So again, the first element we will use the front, a dot front, and the last element a dot back. It will return the back element of the array. Now you can see that I first insert 0, so first element is 0, and last element is 3. So now if we use the at, you can access them using at also, using at method, a dot at 1. And I build it again and run it, and you can see that using at first we have the 0. So that's the basic understanding. Now we have some modifier methods, like how we can push back. I give this example in first by adding some elements. It will take the element from user and add the elements at the end of the array. Like we have 1 and 2 and we want to add 3, so it will add the 3 at the end. Now we have 4, it will end at the end of the array, like this. Now we have the pop back. Pop back is similar to push back, and it will delete the element, like if add from the last. So if we delete like call the pop, and it will take no argument. If we call pop, then it will pop the 4. If we again call the pop, then it will pop the 3, and that's the basic thing about pop back. After that we have the clear. So clear, just like an eraser, it will clear the whole vector and make it empty. And that's the thing for now, and it has some more methods you can use. So I will give the link in the description, so you can check it out, and its documentation also. And thanks for watching, and please like, comment and subscribe, and thank you very much. Now I will end the video here.